Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for being here today on these presentations of festivals. We are really happy having 𝗜𝗣𝗙 𝗪𝗲𝗶 with me. Hi, Luis. Did I say it wrong? Probably.
Well, it's for first try. It's a pretty good one.
Okay, which is the correct one?
𝗲𝗲𝗪𝗲𝗶.
Okay,
𝗲𝗲,
good.
like the American girl's name. It's like Lois Lane, the
Okay,
girlfriend of Superman. Lois.
Yeah.
It's easy to recall. And I think there's a
okay.
jeans brand of the same name, Lois.
And I hope I'm going to do it better with David 𝗲𝗪.
Well, good.
That is correct. Originally from Catalonia, Spain, and been living in Belgrade for many years. Is that correct?
Yes, 12 years here.
Good. Okay. Thanks everyone for being here. You know that every 2 months, we are also happy of having here other members of IPFA and people from all over the world share. And then we are going to record this. We have Panagiotis Papas from Greece, also 𝗜𝗪𝗙 Amazing Festival. We have Arben also here with us. Hi, Arben from Albania. Happy to have you here. And also we have Cosmina. Hi, members. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, good. We have also Anne from Stirling Photo Festival. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you and other people that will be joining. As you know, I am Pablo. I am one of the coordinators of IPFA, the International Association of Photography Festivals. I have Laura Ligari with me.
Hi, I'm here. Welcome, everyone. Happy to be here. Can't wait to hear about this festival presenting today, and hope there will be a lot of questions to know more in deep. Can't wait.
Laura will be helping also with the technical part and all the questions. If you have any questions, just send them on the chat and we will organize the question and make them in the end of this conversation. And that's it. I think we can start. You know, this is IPFA. We do this every 2 months, and we are really happy to invite all our festivals. This is also an invitation for Anne, Arben, and the rest of you who wants to participate, or Panagiotis. We have another presentation in February, and we will be happy to know more about your festivals and also explain our community how your festival works and what we are doing. Something important, we are getting ready to the presentation of next meeting in July in Barcelona. It is already confirmed that we are going to have the next meeting in Barcelona. We are going to have the Catalan meeting of festivals on the day 2. This is on Thursday. And then we have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We are going to have the international meeting with all the festivals in the world. And for sure, we hope to have 50 festivals as last year, or even more festivals. Obviously, all of you are invited. And also, we are going to have the photographers with us because we are going to do portfolio reviews. Also, for the first time, we truly believe this was something that was decided on our last meeting last year in Barcelona. And we think it's a great opportunity also to meet photographers. And also, it's a great opportunity for photographers to come and talk with us while we are having the meeting. Let's see how this works. But I think it's going to be great, a bigger meeting, really nice. Our team is working hard for having the names of the curators and also for preparing the new webpage that for sure we are going to have ready in January, because you know now that we are busy on IPFA Award. We are having many presentations and people sending their projects. David was happy last week because we had 250 or so. Now we have 300. And we hope we are going to get more before the end of the submissions. That is December 22. The best gift that you can give to your future is sending your projects to IPFA Award, and also give all these people a lot of work, like David, that is already worried because he has so many projects to see. but it's good. I mean, having a lot of submissions is great for everyone. In the end, we are generating 20 solo exhibitions and a collective exhibition with 50 photographers. That means that we are giving a lot of prizes. That's why we also want to have a lot of opportunities to choose the best ones. Okay, I think we have already give enough 7-10 minutes for people to come. We are almost 20 today, and the people that is going to see this recording, we are going to put it on the newsletter tomorrow. That means that more people is going to see this. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks Laura, thanks David, thanks Luis for your presentation. I think we are ready and eager to know more about your festival. Are you also ready?
I am.
Great.
Well, good afternoon. My name is 𝗲𝗏𝗪 𝗪𝗲𝗯𝗶H, and thank you for introducing me. Dear Pablo, I think you're a great animator, and thank you also for the idea to unite all the festivals in the world. This was an idea overdue, and I think it was a good moment to do this in Barcelona. I think Barcelona is kind of a dedicated place for this, with enough sunshine, with enough identity, with a very special identity, I would say. And by the way, it's a place I like to be anyway. One of my favorite restaurants is there, but I don't give the name. Would be unfair. But on the way to Perpignan, I always did go by Barcelona, of course. Flying into Barcelona, have one night there, go to my favorite restaurants together with Silvia, my wife, and then heading to Perpignan since many, many, many years. Anyway, I hope that I can contribute something to your concept idea, because I think that Baden might be kind of a little bit of a role model for what you have in mind. Since 2018, we are working together with a festival in Brittany, Gacilly-Baden, which was founded 23 years ago. And 8 years ago, I was there the first time. I was invited to come and see it. And I was so blown away by what I saw that I really thought we have to do it together somehow, knowing that festivals usually do not travel. But after some convincing talks, we found out that it could be possible. And so since 8 years, now we are heading for the 9th years, we are really doing it together. And it's just as good as it gets, because it widens the perspective, of course. Before we get into facts and figures, I would like to show you a little movie, a little animation of impressions of the festival here in Baden, which was done on behalf of our 5th anniversary. So for each year, we dedicate about 100 minutes. But before we go starting it, I would like to introduce my team to you. On the first place is, of course, Silvia, my wife. She's co-directing the festival. Then it's Joanna Reitmeier. She's the soul for all the photographers, taking care of them when they come. And she is arranging all their trips, and then also for journalists. So everybody loves her because she does the extra mile. If someone has a toothache or someone needs a haircut, all this is on her side to be done. Then we have Birgit Hofbauer and Martin Ackerl. Both are responsible for the design of the festival. So they really go millimeter by millimeter to the grounds and place it and do all the preparatory work for making the pictures shine so that they become really an homage to the photographers we have on display. But there's so much more work for them. It's a wide range, because we are only 5 to make a quite substantial, quite big festival happen. To give you a taste and glimpses of what it looks like and how it feels, we show you now this video, but it takes about 8 minutes. So rest, sit back, and then we talk about the hard facts. Enjoy. To be honest, I could watch it forever. I really like my own stuff. But anyway, coming back to what it is, you see, I did dress up to for this festive moment, and also to give you a little background in the room I'm sitting in. So because Christmas is around, it should look good. By the way, the photograph is by 𝗜𝗣𝗙, which had an exhibition in 2019 in Baden. So let's start with the hard facts. We're existing since 8 years, and yes, this is the hard facts. We are organized as a non-profit organization, an NGO, a Verein as it called is in German. We are out for 4 months, usually from the mid of June to the mid of October. And this stretches of over 7 kilometers through the city center of Baden and the parks and gardens of Baden. And we are lucky because this used to be a Habsburg retreat down at the end of the 20th century, beginning of the 19th century, beginning of 20th century. So the infrastructure is really brutally good. So there's really so many options that where you can rest, sit, enjoy, and also find enough restaurants and places to go for. It's absolutely barrier-free, and there's no admission, and it's accessible 24/7. So this is an important thing. And last year we had the record number, or this year we had the record number of 336,000 visitors. And of course, these visitors are not counted by us. We have a German company based in Aachen called 𝗜𝗣𝗙, and they are professionals with a technique, what they call event metrics, and they can measure who is a visitor and who is a passer. We have cooperations with some places like the gardens in Tulln, where we have one exhibition, and this attracts also quite a bit of visitors. And we do cooperate with the month of photography in Bratislava since 2019. And this year we have been the first time in Budapest at the 𝗪𝗓𝗓 there, an open air exhibition as well for only 4 weeks, but nevertheless we could count there about 50,000 visitors. So this is more or less the ballpark what we are having. And now when I showed you the next insert, you see our post of this year. It was dedicated to Australia and what we call the New World, because we have 2 narratives basically, or 2.5 or 3 narratives, but 2 main narratives. The one is on a yearly changing geography dedicated to one area of the world. It could be a country or even a continent in the case of Australia. And secondly, the second part of our narratives is about the condition of our planet Earth. And this program is puts down in a manifesto since about 20 years. So the curating is not so much in the hands of the board of the directors. We are 4 curators sitting together every October in La Gacilly and talking about what could be the next year's topic. But all is based on this manifest. Of course, that means that we have some restraints. We cannot put out a call because we would not know who would join this call. So we invite. We invite photographers and pick the topics what we know to bring it together to one program, which is really a solid rock. And I think it's the metrics why we can attract so many visitors. It's not so that there are so many photographers coming. It's really a general public who are interested in the topics. So let's go on with the next. This is more numbers because we try to open up to all kinds of corners because we have no money for marketing. So we try to put in place options where we can communicate to a very, very, very wide public. That means we go on highways, we go on the airport, we go. You can read it on your own. We have a cooperation with our local cinema. Before they start every movie, they show a trailer. We have an. You saw it in this small video what we showed you before. We have along the highways. We have also Photo Festival Baden since many years. So many people pass by there, and of course over the course of time it sinks in. And then we, as you see in the bottom of this insert, we have a cooperation with the local milk factory here, the 𝗓𝗏, Lower Austrian milk factory, and they give us 500,000 packs of milk where we can use one side to announce our festival. So we are on many tables in the morning so that people will not forget to come to the festival. And of course, in the meantime, after 8 years, it has become a word of mouth. Here you can see how it works on the highways. We have big billboards out there. We have even in the city. We have on the airport. We have on private houses. The two lower images refer to private houses where the owners came to us and say, "Hey, it's so cool. We would like to show an image as well." And so we approach photographers if they would agree that we do that, and it's really something fantastic. And the numbers are really overwhelming. But if you look at this, and here you can see how many days these announcements are out on the highways and how many people do have potential contact. So this goes in the hundreds. It's about 150 million possible contacts, which is an incredible number. And of course, it feeds the interest. And of course, we are lucky to have this area of Vienna and Bratislava, which is not one city yet, but is only 80 kilometers apart from each other. And in this area, we find most of our visitors, I would say about 80 to 85%. All others come from all corners in the world, but it's much lesser. So together with our partner in Lagacy, I think this is also how we communicate us. We call out that we are the largest photo festival in Europe because they have about 300,000 or 350,000 visitors, and so do we. So together it would be 700 with the corporations in Bratislava and Garden-Tulln. So we are close to 900,000. This is a real number, a real substantial number. But you see, it did build up from 2018. We started already with 189,000. Then in the pandemic times, we had more than 300,000, which was fantastic. The authorities have been really helpful here in Baden and gave us the opportunity that we could be out there during the pandemic. And since then, we did go down a little bit with visitor numbers, but in the last 2 years, it did come up. We are really now in the mainstream of our area, so many people know about us. And also, the media value, you can also see this is how the city tries to find out what it means for them financially. They count each visitor as an average with about 20 euro for spending, no matter if you go parking or you need to use a toilet or you are hungry or have an ice cream or whatsoever. So even if most visitors are day visitors, they come in the morning, leave in the afternoon or the evening, but they spend enough hours to spend also some money, and which is to the favor of the city and also to the favor of the people who run local businesses here. Yes, and our complete pride goes to the media corporation. The media of Central Europe really love us. They come in big numbers. We can welcome between 70 to 100 medias during the opening weekend, and they all do their job in a very good way. We coined even a term which is called the Baden family. Most of the media are repeaters, and they start with the Guardian, Stern, Geo, FAZ, Neue Zürcher Zeitung, Paris Match, Figaro, La Repubblica, even the Italian Vogue was here the first time. We had twice Al Jazeera coming. And in between, everyone who is involved in photography, at least in the German-speaking world, which is fantastic. We owe them so much. They made us. They made our success. They do communicate what's needed to make this festival seen, and they bring people into our grounds to learn. You know what's the fantastic thing in Baden is that we really count on storytelling. Because we track the visitors, we know that the more artistic options are lesser received by the audience, but the documentary long-term projects, the reportage photography is very, very well received. When it's world-class photography with information behind, then happens what we all have learned from our grandparents. You know, they did tell us stories. They did tell us about these beautiful fairy tales. This is what we all know best, and we can work with it, and people respond to it in an amazing, amazing way. And we are more than happy that we have this cooperation with the media. The Media Day per se, and I invite you now that you join us to come. It will be next year on the 12th and 13th of June. And in the Media Day, almost a miracle happens because we do the media walk. And the media walk, you must imagine, is like going on a hike on a high mountain. We meet at noon, at 12:30 we start, and it takes about 8 hours to go through all the 30 exhibitions. And that means in each exhibitions, between 5 and 10 minutes, each photographer speaks. Or if the photographer is there or cannot come, somebody represents her or him. And that means that someone speaks first and someone speaks last. And what's so beautiful is the solidarity between photographers and media. They all stay together. We are a crowd of 150, 200 people walking all the tour. Of course, we have two kind of refresh breaks in between, but it's at the end when we arrive for dinner, then we have the feeling that we did climb a mountain. It was exhausting, but you feel happy. You really feel happy. And this gives the feeling of this Baden family, what I mentioned before. So everybody's kind of proud to be part of it. And besides of it, I think one important thing what we created here, we all stay together in one hotel. So all the photographers, all the journalists stay in one hotel. That means we have breakfast together, we spend the evenings together, we do everything together. And in the basement of the hotel, we have studio for sound and videos. And before about 2 weeks before the festival opens, I sent to the photographers and to the media, vice versa, their email addresses, and they make up their own appointments. So the photographers say, I would like to talk to Neue Zürcher Zeitung or to Stern or to Guardian, and vice versa. So it works beautifully, and a lot of communications is going around. And I have heard that about 300 interviews are conducted within one weekend from Friday till Sunday, which is an enormous amount. So next thing is what we really care much about is the catalog. It's a costly thing, but it's important because I truly believe that without a catalog, you cannot put it on as a legacy that it really happened. The catalog refers forever that it was there. And many people did. Of course, all the journalists take it home, and it's a big volume. It's about 200 to 300 pages, and we dedicate to each exhibition about 8 to 10 pages with 6 to 8 images, fairly large. You have seen we have. You can see here in this image that we changed the format. The format for the first years was about A5. Now we are A4. And of course, the images appear much bigger, and that's something what matters. Well, this is the festival grounds. You see, wherever there's a mark in yellow, there's an exhibition that you see we really spread out throughout the city. We have two circles. The green one is called the garden route, and the orange one is called the city route. But altogether, it's about 30, 32, 28, depending on each year exhibition. Each exhibition has between 20 to 50, 60, 70. We had Salgado 2 years ago with Amazonia. It was over 100 images. So altogether, it's between 1,500, 1,400, 2,000 images. All are outdoor. And most of them are printed on Alu-Dimont, direct printing, or on canvas. The biggest canvas which we have is about 200 square meters high. We have about 30 of these canvases, and it's of course very important for the dramaturgy to have some highlights in between, which are really towering tall, like a building, and then you have the melody of the narratives of the regular storytelling. And of course, we try to have a choreography within each exhibition. So you have a closer look to the garden route, and we have also a little pond in there. And of course, it was kind of a crazy idea to have a swimming exhibition. Of course, it should make sense that it swims. And then we have the city route, which was not intended in the beginning, but after the first year, the local businesses said, oh, there's really people coming for photography. And they approached the mayor and asked if there could be exhibitions within the old town city center. Well, next year's program is dedicated to England. One of the highlights will be Sir Don McCullin. We will have the second time Martin Parr, unfortunately not in person. I had a bad feeling already because my plans have been to visit him in November to discuss what we have in mind for this year, for the coming year. And he called me up and said, look, I cannot promise that I will be ready because I'm not feeling so good anymore. I know that he has cancer, but he was here 2 years ago, and we had the honor, last year, so to speak, 2 years ago from the point of view of today, and we had the honor to give him a Lifetime Achievement Award, and I think it was a happy moment in his life and a very happy moment for us to have him with his wife Susan around, and it was just as beautiful as it gets, and I'm really torn, and I'm very sad that we cannot welcome him again next year. We will do something for him to remind him, to give him his moments, but unfortunately he only can watch it from heaven. But I did put a sentence on my Facebook page yesterday or 2 days ago when he passed away, as they probably had an assignment from heaven which was too good to turn down, but we will see heaven in the brightest colors ever. So this is what we do in terms of the festival. Martin, maybe you put now the camera again on me, because I would share more numbers. We need approximately 1.3 million, ideally in cash. It seems a lot of money, but as a matter of fact, if you take the amount of images, it's not a big number, because the average number what we have to pay for a picture over all sizes is about 300 to 350 euro per print. And if you take it that we have up to 2,000 photographs on display, and if to make the calculation simple, and they say 1 million divided by 2,000, then you have cost of 500 per image, and 350 is the cost just for producing the image, not for mounting them, not for doing anything in ways of marketing, communicating, etc., doing workshops and doing other shows. 192,000 euro comes from the city. So the city chips in substantially, about 1/5. And then from the government, from the local Austrian government, Lower Austrian government, we get another 80,000, 40 from the tourism department, 40 from the cultural department. But the rest, which is still ways to go, comes from about 90 partners, sponsors. And so far, we somehow manage it. We all feel that times are becoming more difficult. And I hope that we can deliver without making the festival smaller or making changes to it. So the industry is still on our side. All what you saw along the highway, we get it for free. There's a lot of support, but also this can change. You never know what's ahead. But for the moment, we are still in their favor. And for the next year, I'm very optimistic that we will have it all together. Of course, at the end, at the end of the festival, then we really know how it worked out. What I would like also to share with you finally, before I ask you for your questions, we get beautiful comments from journalists, from spectators. I leave it to you to read it maybe later, but it's really like Ben Rollins, you see how he starts out. Some days remind us why we love photography so much. This is this is the undercurrent. Or Hannah Henninger's, these exhibitions are eye-opening, inspiring, and stirring experiences. What a celebration the opening week was again from Marta Neo from the Stern in Hamburg. And we get quite many. Milica Mrvic, maybe my friend from Belgrade, David, will
I
know
know
her. I'm
her.
still
She's a fantastic person, a fantastic photographer.
She's
Yes.
beautiful. We also invited her to this year to have her at the Leica Gallery in Vienna. We also cooperating with Leica. They give us some support money, and in exchange we do every month an artist talk at the Leica Gallery. And she was here, and she was, you see what she meant. She was impressed. And Gianmarco Maraviglia, he writes for the Washington Post, CNN, Bloomberg, and Newsweek. He was here the first year, and he was very clear. It was one of the most inspiring photographic experiences I've ever had. And thank you. I will definitely become a regular yearly event for me. I think it doesn't get any better. This is where we really stand, and it's just it makes me happy. It makes us happy. It makes the whole team happy. We are a small team. We are really working our fanny off to make it happen. And uh, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It really warms our hearts, and it warms many, many people's hearts coming as visitors, and we are very, very proud. And you see, this is the some of the rewards what we get. We get even some awards, two for this year, which we did not expect from a British magazine and from an organization about walkers. They found out that these 7 kilometers are a beautiful way to walk along, and so they awarded it a prize for just do a beautiful walk. So this is what I can share with you, and I'm open for all the questions you might have.
Thank you so much, Luis, for the presentation. We are really happy to see you proud and happy of your festival. That is the best. Not just you enjoying and your team, but also that all your audience coming to your festival. And I mean, myself, I'm really surprised about how you have these many media coming with you and working with you, and also the partners. And I want to make you a question. We're just waiting for the rest of the people to make question. I think, David, it's going to be easy if we do some question now, and then we go with you just to make separate questions, and then we can have a debate. How do you find all these places and how you engage all this company to help you? And do you think that this is also related of doing the festival in a small city? Because the experiences that we have, for example, in Spain, in the case of Experimental Photo Festival, or in big cities, is that sometimes it's really hard to have public funding, but also have companies or having the help of the institutions when you are in a big or small space. What is your experience or your reflection about it?
There are many questions in one. Maybe one after the other I can answer, but maybe one route is that I'm a photographer myself. Since 1983, I'm a photographer, and since 1985, I was working for the Geo magazine mostly. I did some work for Stern, but mostly Geo. I did about more than 200 assignments for Geo magazine. So I know a lot of photographers, and I know a lot of media. So all our marketing is basically my cell phone. I call them up. If I want the 𝗜𝗙 coming, I call Freddy Langer, who was the head of the feuilleton, and he asked me back and said, "Is it important that I'm coming?" If I say yes, he said, "Okay, can I bring my family?" So it's on that basis. So, and many of the media I know since a long time. I'm living in a lifetime network, and this pays off. I see it. It seems to be that I did a few things right along the way, and I do not have too many enemies. I'd rather have some friends. And what we really have in mind, we want to honor the photographers who are coming. We want to pay tribute to them when they're here. We pay homage to them. We really treat them as I have wished to be treated when I was a photographer invited somewhere else, or when I was doing a book at other publishers. So I learned many things the hard way. I always had to live on many, many, many promises. And when we decided to do the festival, say there will be no promises. We will deliver facts. And this is what pays back. This is one thing. And but when it comes to cooperations with companies, of course, I needed money for all kind of projects for maybe 30 years. So I learned how to find money, and I have, of course, again, a lot of phone numbers and addresses, but also it's the content. You know, I need a product, and we stay away. And this is unfortunate, that artistic options do not pay in. They are, and we track visitors when we have some artistic exhibitions on display. We know that people, they walk by. They have 2, 3, 4 minutes. When they have documentary photography, they read up to 10 minutes per image. So this is the big difference. We had one exhibition, you know, the company who does the counting, they have reference countings. When we had last year an exhibition in Bratislava in the pedestrian zone, it was only about 150 meters long, and just along the exhibition was a hotel. And we asked them if he could put up instruments to measure, and they could measure down to the second how long the people did read on each image. And for our surprise, it was in July, it was very hot. But so most people came after 9 p.m. and left between 11 and 11:30. And the average reading time was 6, 7, 8 minutes per image. This was for us completely unexpected. I never expected this. And we have one area in Baden, which is about also maybe 200 meters long, the so-called southern wall of one park. And there we put always these exhibitions have which the most text. And we had this year George Steinmetz about his Feeding 9 Billion project. And it was sometimes so crowded that if you did walk there on a weekend, people looked at you like you were an invader. So, or if you did say hello or something to someone, it was not welcome. People really did read. So it's about the content. I could not find partners because I'm a nice guy. I find them because the content counts. And we're lucky to have this content. And it's also for many of the partners, and they mentioned it even, they can rely on our content because it's written in a manifest. It's not a director's choice who is each year another wind. Don't misunderstand. I do not want to have a critic to anyone. Everybody is important in doing it his way, and it contributes to the overall picture. But if I have to talk to him about my experience, I get this feedback that it's reliable. And believe me, most of the exhibitions, they are not very mainstream. They are sometimes quite hard from the photography. Some people are also criticizing it. It's nothing to swallow easy, but people are interested to learn about the world and many people take quite a bit of information home. And I see people crying, I see people enjoy, I see people sharing, discussing. So I think this is what makes our festival happen, and also opens the door to the sponsors. And not to forget, and this is my last point, we have valid numbers. Valid numbers. When we started in 2018, a friend of mine, who unfortunately passed away, Peter Nedved, he was in the board of a company which did traffic science and traffic traffic, how do we call it? It's a company how to guide traffic on highways, etc. And he said, if you do something in public, you need to have numbers, valid, rock solid numbers. Otherwise, people say, okay, there's always somebody going by. And he recommended this company in Aachen, and we approached them, and they are specialized for exit polls and analysis of what happens at fairs, how long people look to a certain item. And they measured it, and we asked them if they could do it for a festival. Of course, it's not as precise like what they can do on a fair, but they can do it in a way that we get an idea. I don't say that we have exactly these numbers, even they come in with a single digit at the end, but this is how they measure it, you know?
Sure.
And we it will be more or less the amount of people visiting. I don't
Sure.
say that is the number. So, but coming back to your question, I think it's the numbers and it's the content.
Sure. And I think this is a great invitation for all of us to go
Come
next
and
year
see.
to visit
Yeah.
your festival. That's really great. I had another question. Part of this long question was about making your festival in a small city. What's your feeling? Do you think that your festival would be different if you make it in a big city? Maybe this is the question.
Yes, I think Baden is with 25,000 inhabitants is already on the brink of being too big. I think the smaller the better, because the smaller, like in Lagacy, they have only 2,000 inhabitants. So that's the only big event in the year. So all the people being young there, they're waiting to be part of it. I don't get volunteers here so easy. They ask for money, you know? That's the difference. It's too big a city. It's an affluent city, by the way. So that people, they do not need to work for money. So I think the smaller Siena is also on the brink. It's too many people already. So I think Cortona, the smaller, the better. The smaller, the
Nice.
better. And then from Blankasee, I know it for sure. They have 350,000 visitors in a city of 2,000. This is crazy. That's insane. Of course, it's French. It's France. You know, France is the country of photography, and they harvest on the people who go on holiday to Brittany. And in Brittany, the weather is unstable. So you have beautiful sunshine days, so they're on the beach. But if the weather is so-so, the people have their breakfast and they drive to Lagacy, which is about 80 kilometers off the coast. And of course, they do not go right away to the festival, they go for lunch. They go for lunch. And then they need to walk after the lunch, you know, to digest. And then they walk, and then they drive back and have dinner. So this is France, but you can take it somehow as an example how it could work. Offer
Sure.
them a, a nice village, and the village is not so. If there wouldn't be the festival, I think it would be a one-horse town. It would not be on the map. But
Sure.
with this, it became an important player in the world of photography. And of course, I have to say to their honor, they took a lot of risk because in the beginning, it was invented by the mayor then, by Jacques Rocher, and he had just wanted to bring the world to his people. So very, very simple thought. And of course, he asked the big agencies of photography agency of France, send me landscape images, send me pictures of big cities, beautiful images. And he said, okay, so that everybody can see it, we put it up in public. He was the boss. He could nail it on the walls. And so it started. And of course, all the festivals from Arles to Perpignan, they said, that was not, kind of was the pariah. But a few years later, they met Cyril Drouet and Florence Drouet. And Florence Drouet was at the time curator at the Maison Européenne de la Photographie in Paris, one of the big institutions. And Cyril Drouet was going to be the chef of Figaro magazine. And they both together created this concept. And they said, okay, stay away from too much curating. Make a clear program. And this ended up in a manifest. And I think this is the ground on which we stand. So the success in Baden stands on the shoulders of them. And we are very happy that we could manage to do this together. And of course, coming back to your original intention, founding IPFA, we share costs. We produce together. So 20 exhibitions we create together, and they are first shown in Legacy, and then then we ship them to Baden, and we pay costs. We finance the production of it. So this helps both sides. And of course, it's not only economic, it's always also environmental reasonable. So this is a good thing to do. And of course, under the umbrella of culture of solidarity, we pass on for free certain exhibitions, for example, to Bratislava, or as we did to Turin or to Budapest this year. So not every photographer agrees that we pass it on for free. One thing is also important. We pay each photographer the same amount. No matter if you're Salgado or if you're lesser known, you get the same amount, each of them. So this is healthy.
Sure.
And I can also give the number. It's 2,000 euro per photographer plus travel expenses. This is what we offer them. But of course, with this contract comes along that they are invited to be at the opening, and almost all of them come, and it works well. It works well.
Nice. Okay, thank you so much, Luis. I think it was really interesting. This is a direct invitation for IPFA and all our members to go to visit your festival for sure. I have already put it on my calendar for sure.
I know. You have already a booked room.
Yes. David, are you ready? You have 1 hour. We want to know what is happening there.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations for the work that you're doing, IPFA team. It was a pleasure to be in Barcelona this summer, and I can't wait to be the next, especially because it's winter. We see for the summer. I will start answering the last question that you made to Lois, and I agree with him, and I get that with you. I really think that a small place matters, because I see also in the negative side by my festival that is in Belgrade, but you see also when you visit festivals in small places that the relevance that has for the audience and the support from the city and is different. It's a very different thing. Okay, yes, I'm going to introduce a bit Belgrade Photo Month Festival. I will do it from my point of view. I will do it a bit addressed to people, colleagues from other festivals that we have some here to share experiences, but also for the photographers that I guess that are also here in case that if they are interested to know how they work, how we work, or how can they be part of the festival. I'm going to make first a presentation with a PDF talking about why Belgrade Photo Month, etc. And then we'll go to see some photos, and then I will keep talking through the photos. And in any moment that somebody has a question, or Paulo, you are getting the questions. If you want to interrupt me in any moment, feel free, okay? I'm going now to share the presentation that I prepared. I think that is there. Paulo is there, fine?
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, this is the cover that we had for this the last edition that was now between May and June. Well, Belgrade Photo Month is a month festival. Normally it goes for 30, 28, 32, 34 days. It means that we had events during the full month. And then I will say something else. Wait a second, because now I have to control something. Okay. Wait a second, sorry. Okay. Belgrade Photo Month this year, it makes 10 years. We were born officially in 2016 is when we made our first edition. And how it was born? It was born after visiting Paris Photo in 2015, that it was also model a photo off. Especially, I put in bold letters off, because I was quite prudent, and I know that we cannot be suddenly Parifoto, neither 𝗲𝗲 Photo, but we could be 𝗲𝗲 Photo of. And this is how the festival starts. You see that in the screen? I change the slide to be, yes, okay. Then the idea, yes, okay. Then the idea since the beginning, it was to make a similar of 𝗲𝗲 Photo in terms of my idea was let's invite galleries that we have in the city that for 1 month will share photography. We'll invite them all to make a program with photography, and let's make a photography celebration, but not being so deeply involved in the program. That is something that later it changed. What are our mottos? The main ones, it was to promote the photography in Serbia, because we have excellent photographers, not in Serbia, in Yugoslavia, but they don't have enough visibility. And the photography in itself, it doesn't have the value that the quality of the photography has. I mean, is still today not seen like an art discipline or something like that. Is still like a minor. Obviously, I am from Barcelona, but I live in Belgrade, in Serbia. One of the biggest things that we wanted to do, it was to give visibility to our photographers. Like I mentioned, we have very good one. Lois mentioned 𝗲𝗲 𝗪𝗲𝗍𝗲. We have many others. And we thought that being a festival, to collaborate with other festivals, now with IPFA is still better, we can give this visibility that our photographers, we felt that they need. But at the same time, because Serbia, I will say that is a country, or Yugoslavia also, but Serbia is a country of documentary photography, mainly, we thought that it was very important to bring new projects for the people to see here, because let's say Serbia is not Austria, in case of Lois, or any other places. People can travel around, of course, but we thought that it was important to bring new projects that the people don't used to see in Serbia, for them to see. And also another one of the important things for us since the first day is to give opportunities to the young and the emerging photographers. We can say that it's easy to support emerging photographers because it's it could be expensive to bring an incredible top photographer, but is that we want really to support the emerging photographers and the young ones. Since the first edition until today, every year we open the festival with a concourse for photographers up to 25 years old. Every year, this is the exhibition that opened our festival. We make the exhibition for them. We do our best to bring them to Belgrade. We'll see later. This year we had the 4 winners. We have them in Belgrade, which is a very good experience for them. And then also another one of the important things, it was the photo books. The photo books are every time more important. And in Serbia, means we didn't have at that time any publisher. And we have people who is self-editing books, self-publishing books, but there is not publishers, and there are not available photo books. And this is also something that since the first edition, we dedicate a big part of our efforts in bringing photo books and a good photo book exhibition. Then we start in 2016, like I mentioned, on April. We have some numbers that you can read meantime I talk. We have some names. Of course, the first edition, what we wanted to do is to show a retrospective of the best Serbian Yugoslavian photographers, historically talking, who was Tomislav Petrnek, who passed away some years ago, but on that time he was alive, and we're very proud to make his last retrospective. And the previous one was 35 years before, with more than 100 works in an amazing space. And this is how we decided to open the festival. In that case, we make the exception because we opened with Tomislav Petrnek retrospective instead of the new talent contest. But then we had retrospective of Arno Fischer, Natasha Christia came to make the first exhibition about photo books, like introduction for our people about the photo books. It was the first time that we collaborate with another festival. Matthias Rush and Robert Marin, they came from Photon Festival from Ljubljana, that were part of the European Month of Photography. Of course, we had also local artists, 32 exhibitions, 29 locations. Big part of them, they were like like I say, we invite the galleries to be part. They make the program. We make some ones like 𝗜𝗙𝗙𝗪, like Natasha Christian, like 𝗜𝗣𝗙 𝗪𝗲𝗠, and others. But in big part, on that time we were inviting the galleries to be part. We passed the time, 2017. We keep working. It was very important for us to have Classiques Juven in the Institut Français. It was one of these fantastic opportunities for us to grow up. I will say that on that time I already was visiting many festivals, and for me it's very important to visit festivals because I can get ideas. Like now when Lois is talking, I was taking notes about things that we can do different or we can do better. And that for me is very important, to visit other festivals and to learn. Still, last year, after 9 years, last year when I was in Sarajevo Photography Festival, I took an ideas of things that we can do better in our festival if we do it in a different way. Then we keep having exhibitions, still 50 exhibitions, 40 locations. We have to think that it was like 30 days, 50 exhibitions. Sometimes it was insane. We're in my car, 4 people traveling from exhibition to exhibition, sometimes 3 in one day. It was too much. And on that time, we're starting to consider what are we doing with so many exhibitions. It has sense or it has not. But in one point, it was important to fulfill the city of photos. That was very important for us. Unfortunately, we don't have the luck that Lois have to have facilities to exhibit the work outside. We had very few occasions. They don't put it easy to us, probably because we are a big city. And then we're talking that mainly all the spaces are indoor galleries. We jump to the 2018. If you see the image, the visual of the festival, it kept similar because we were growing up. Then in 2018, the festival has no topic. Until then, that time, we have no topic for the festival. In our case, we like to include all types of photography, since fashion to sport, some ones. Documentary, obviously, but also conceptual photography, because it's also something that is not so usual in Serbia. And for me, these things that are not so usual, but there is something that we would like to promote. Like we don't have photo book, let's push them. We don't have a lot of conceptual photography, let's bring conceptual exhibitions. Obviously, it's not the same to watch here we have some names, no? The work of 𝗜𝗙𝗪𝗙𝗪𝗏 𝗪𝗏𝗪 from Ethiopia, that is incredible documentary project, than to see Matteo Girola project, for example. They're very different. We know that the audience like more 𝗜𝗪𝗪𝗏, but also, and probably this is not helping us to get some possible sponsors, but somehow we try to give a space for the conceptual photography because we think that this is important. Here we keep again 59 exhibitions, 40 locations, 59 artists, not including large group exhibitions. It was going to the point that this is unbearable to manage so many work. Later, we are going to see some of the exhibitions. Until that moment, our program, it was built mainly, here it started to be more our own program, but the only open call that we had on that time, it was the new talents for young photographers and one contest from Instagram, because we did it mainly to get followers and to get more visibility. I started to visit, on that time, I started to make portfolio reviews in different festivals, what helped me to see more works and to invite projects. I will say, photographers that are here listening now, at least for me, when I do a portfolio review, many times I've been projects to Belgrade. From every year, I can get 1, 2, sometimes 3 projects from there, and from different portfolio reviews that they do, means it's useful for the people who is looking for an opportunity. Of course, if they ask for advices, they also do. But just thinking people that is interesting to say. Then in 2019, we changed the aesthetic. We changed from the graphic visuals to go to the photography, because we are a photography festival. Then on 2019, again, photo books, of course, with 𝗜𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 at the time, before it was with Istanbul. On that time, we were already collaborating with different festivals. Before with Istanbul, here with Photobox from the Baltics. We keep bringing projects like 𝗜𝗣𝗙𝗪 with the Goethe Institute, some locals like 𝗜𝗣𝗙𝗪𝗏, Alexa Vitorovic, who is a very young photographer, 𝗜𝗑𝗪𝗪, we know her from Budapest Photo Festival. We still have 50 exhibitions. We still have no theme for the festival, but we keep going. Until this moment, until 2019, we were mainly based by one sponsor, you see here, 𝗜𝗣𝗙 Advocacy, it means a lawyer office. It was our sponsor. And some money from the, sometimes, not always, sometimes, from the city or from the ministry, what is not happening in the last years. Okay, we start to collaborate with culture centers, with embassies, and on that year, it was the first time that we want to bring a good exhibition, a big exhibition. That was our cover, 𝗜𝗪𝗙 𝗪𝗏𝗪. Nobody is supporting this. We don't get any money from where. We're going to put the money that we have, all that we have, to bring her and to make an excellent exhibition with her work. This year later, I will also talk about some little changes that we did that were very relevant for us. But this 2019, it was one of those years that was very important for us. COVID arrives. Our festival normally is April, May. Somehow, I didn't know, I mean, we know about COVID when it started in China, it was December, but somehow I felt that something was not going to happen. And we worked a bit, but not properly. And then COVID arrived, established. We had a lot of, limitations. Serbia was less limited than other countries. We managed to do some exhibitions on 2020 because we had the support. And if we don't do, we will lose the support. We lose the opportunity. And we did some exhibitions. And then on that time, we start to make by Zoom many talks with different photographers around the world. These talks are in YouTube, in our channel in YouTube. You can listen them. Kind of improvised because it was a time for improvisation. And but okay, we keep working. We got support, for example, from the Israel embassy for bringing 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 platforms projects to Belgrade. And then I will mention later, but this year it was when we decided for the first time that we're going to keep having exhibitions in the full month, but we decide to open in not one, two big venues the same day. What was insane because we had to hang 20 projects in a week, and one of them with huge problems. We solved the problems in the last half an hour. We were opening one space and we're making the solutions in the second space. But that was very important, and we keep this until today, because that let us open many projects, many exhibitions at the same time. Then, like Lois mentioned, that it has the first weekend with all the visitors together, mingling around, making community. Since that moment, we had the first week of the first, from Thursday to Saturday or Sunday, we have many of the visitors there in Belgrade. And this is very important for that, to make community. Also, the theme of the festival, that we are all volunteers, is the moment that also we enjoy the most, because we love to mingle with the photographers, we love to mingle with the visitors that join us, and it is a very different experience. Of course, then during the month, we keep having activity. We have 3 or more rounds, small rounds with visitors, because always we manage to have 4 or 5 at the same time. But that first weekend, and also it helps a lot to relax the rest of the month, because you have less openings, of course. That was in 2020-21. We still didn't have a topic, and we still keep 53 exhibitions. That was not easy. I think that in 2020 we have like 5 or 6. The rest was in 2021. I have to say that the people was wishing a lot to have activities and to can go out. Then after 2021, in the team, we have our regular meeting after exhibition, after festival, and we decide, and that was in fact in the original plan of the festival, to be biennial. it was impossible to manage a full festival every year with all the efforts, with a super low budget, volunteering all, it was very hard. Then we decided to be biennial, but then we decide, okay, biennial, yes, but let's don't do nothing, let's do something. And then we decide to create Belgrade Photo Book Week. And this is connected to the importance that we are giving since the first day to the photo books. Now, every 2 years, we have Belgrade Photo Month, and every 2 years, we have Belgrade Photo Book Week. This year, we finish Belgrade Photo Month. Next year, from 20 to 26 June, we're going to have Belgrade Photo Book Weeks. That it means book presentations, publisher presentations, exhibitions only based in photo books, photo book market, that we never had photo book market in Serbia, is the full weekend, and is the time when we do also portfolio reviews for our visitors. Then we invite publishers normally from Europe. That year that we see here in 2022, we have 𝗜𝗚𝗙 from Slovenia, Fragile Publishing from Austria, I guess Lois knows, Lucas. Fuego Books from Spain, Food Not Pure from England, Serbian, let's say, Grain, on that time was working from Serbia, and Witty Books from Italy. And then we had also local photographers presenting their own books, or here we have an exception, Inés Doré, who was a Portuguese photographer who made a residence with us. And after the residence, she made a book, she published a book, and she was also part. That was also something that changed. It means we had less exhibitions, but like I mentioned, we had the portfolio reviews, we have workshops, we have photo book market. That is, for our audience, it was very important. That day is make our team, and me personally, to feel super proud of having there all these publishers selling books and the people enjoying so much with the books that we wrote. Then arrived 2023, another change. We decide to have a topic in the festival, and we choose Colorama. Why Colorama? Because we thought that we need color, like we put in the text, we need happiness. Also, if it's fake happiness, like the typical photos from Colorama from New York station, these fake families, we need happiness. However, we need happiness, and we make the edition. What means that was a bit the vibes that we wanted to bring. Of course, everything in color. The photo of the cover is funny. Is from our local photographer 𝗂𝗓𝗓 𝗂𝗓, who is self-portrait herself here. Is the only positive photo of all her project, but it was perfect for us, and we used it. And then that year, the first time with the topic, also we reduced to 22 exhibitions. That was important also. We keep opening the festival in one location with 7 projects, and after that, during the month, we're having different exhibitions. Here, we collaborate also with 𝗓𝗓𝗪 Gacilly-Baden Festival, with Sara Munari, with a Swiss festival, with Clement Lemblet. Zuzana Pustajova, we show her after collaboration with Reflector the year before. It means we keep these collaborations, and yes, okay, and we'll go to jump. Well, later, yes, we'll see some other things. Then 2024, we're going back to the second edition of the photo books. Philosophy, it was the same. Presentations, workshops, portfolio reviews, photo book market, different. The first year we did also photo book presentations online. It means we were in a cinema, a small cinema. We had the people presenting their books on the screen, and we have the audience, and also it was online at the same time. This year we decided to do the same for the people who could not travel, but we present only books that we had physically. It means the audience was passing the books, and meantime the people was presenting the book, the people can touch, can smell, can see, can feel the book. That was quite interesting experience. We had publishers, Ediciones Posibles from Spain, Photo Hub from Austria. Now it's not coming the name from Salzburg. It's I think. Footnote again, Pure Line, Yogurt from Italy. 𝗜𝗚𝗙 we have here downstairs because also they were part. 𝗜𝗚𝗙 is a lab for photo books by a Russian person who is living in Belgrade for quite long. I don't know now if to say that it's a Russian or a Serbian publisher or both. We had some exhibitions, not many, because when we do a photo book week, the point is to reduce everything at minimal, to keep the book in the point of view, but to can work, let's say, gently. We had José María Llobet, who is one of the co-owners of Ediciones Posibles, with the last book that he presented. Chiara, who was coming from Arsenali Grenze Arsenali Festival from Italy, and Marta Ladoquina, that has a book published by Book Clubs. And then we arrived to last year, to 2025, again, a topic. The topic for us was post-conflict, because we have many conflicts, but we don't have many post-conflicts, but we had some. Then, in that case, I don't know if to call emergent photographer or not, but we have the honor to have Pune Roy like a head of the festival. But we had many people say that it was the best edition, but I hope that every year we make a better edition than before. We had Katarina Markovic, who is quite young and emergent, excellent photographer from Serbia, who was in Sarajevo, that we sent to Grenze Arsenali. And we had Yvonne De Rosa also coming from Grenze Arsenali. We had an excellent three photographers from Poland. We had a 3 Polskie day with very good exhibitions with Magdalena, Justina, Katerina, and many others. We had in total 25 exhibitions, 14 locations. Now I will show you a bit the project. And this time, for the first time, we make a second open call. And this open call, it was for screening night. This is something that we see in Al when it's not raining and they don't have to cancel. And my idea for that, it was, let's take a sponsor with wine, with beer, let's have a cinema room, let's enjoy the proposals that the people is sending, like super informal moment. We got like 200 proposals. Some ones, they were not according to the topic, that's normal. But at the end, we select 24 projects that we screen. We had 4 or 5 of the people presenting their own project there for us. And well, that was something that we did for the first time, but for sure that we're going to keep. It means photographers, for now we're talking new talents up to 35 years old, screening nights, second, let's say, open call that we're going to organize. These are, Lois mentioned about how important, and I'm going to stop to share for 1 second this screen. Wait a second, sorry. Yes. Okay, sorry, something is happening here. Okay. Lois mentioned about how important are the catalogs. We start with this. That is the only thing that we could pay the first year. We're learning with our first exhibitions, some informations, basic, almost no photos of the exhibition. People tell us, David, how is it possible that you have exhibitions and you don't have almost photos? We give a lot of space for, well, a lot, relative space for the new talents because they're very important for us, also for the photo book, but not too much. Then the second year, we make kind of the same format. Okay, this is a typical Serbian square format. Again, with this kind of cover like a graphic. Here we include photos of the program. We include also the map of the city and the gallery where you can visit the exhibition. That was practical information. And of course, like when I visit the festival, working hours of the galleries, if they are accessible for a wheelchair, if they're pet friendly or not, this kind of things we include in the first edition, in these first books, all the program, the parallel program. And then we arrive to the 2018 and we do the same. Our budget still was very low, mainly one sponsor, thanks to them, BDK. Of course, we are surviving because we're an international festival. We collaborate a lot with now with international culture centers and with embassies, but mainly one sponsor. But suddenly, we got support from the ministry. I think that from the secretary, not, but from the Ministry of Culture, yes. And always we get the support after, because we do the festival in April. They announce the support March, April, May. The last 2 years they didn't give nothing. And at the end they do in summer. late for the festival. We cannot do better exhibitions, but that was my compromise. We're going to do a good catalog. I mean, I don't say that it is not good. This is what we could do. But after the festival, when it was over, we make the catalog. We don't have a lot. We have 2 pages per artist, for example, but it's a different quality. It's like 300 copies offset, 300, 400, I don't remember. But we have a space for all the, we got some sponsors like for drinks, for some things, not money, but for some things, yes. Nikon was our partner in the beginning for supporting the New Talents exhibition, for example. But then we could make a good catalog, what we feel that is a good catalog, and a serious catalog like there is not any other one in Serbia except Belgrade Dance Festival. That is a top. For me, it was a mirror. Then we did it afterwards. We sent to, means all the participants, they have their own catalog. And since then, we keep working with the same idea. We change also from the graphic to the photo. That was important step. Here is Marcin Rajek from Poland, photo, very famous photo. We have then Julie Glasberg, the person who decided to support with all the money that we had, and she was the cover for our catalog. The year after, we keep it. We give the cover to a very young photographer. We love his work. We make the catalog with him, like we did after that with Jazz and Vukosh. Keeping in this case, we pass from here to here. It's very different because we pass from 50 exhibitions to 22. And of course, that did change. This year again, in that year, we give Courtney Roy the cover, but we keep the same layout. That was something important also for us, that it was, when we do the first year, something that is not useful for the year, but is a compromise for ourselves, we keep the layout for the next edition that will be easier to work with. And in fact, in the last years, we're doing the catalog of the festival. We don't do catalogs for the different exhibitions. Some places, if they have budget, they do. Some embassies, they support, and then we do. But then what we normally do is we use the page of the catalog about the exhibition. In the other side, we put one of the photos of the exhibition, and we make like a big card, A5 postcard with information. And that we have the same format for all the exhibitions of the festival. And then something else that we do now in this format, because here we don't have the map of the city, we make like a small pocket map of the locations of the exhibitions with the details of the gallery and the program. There's like the pocket versions for everybody. Then yes, for us, Lois, for us also was very important the fact of doing a good catalog for the festival, because this is what, at the end, when you finish, what you have. It's just paper, of course, the memories, and we have photos of the exhibition. We show some of them later. But that was something that it really matters to us. Let me, because I was lost in the presentations. Yes. Okay. Then relevant changes that we had in a moment, it was, like I mentioned, to change the format of the catalog. That was super important for us, mentally, let's say. 2020-21, to change, to not have 50 openings around the city during the full month, to get a big venue with many exhibitions at the same time. 2022, to decide to become biennial. We decided before, but let's say to execute the biennality, let's say. Then we decided to have less exhibitions, because now 90% of the exhibitions are our exhibitions. We control the artists, we control the quality, we control everything. And that is giving a guarantee of quality. And we are, we like to put the standards of the exhibition that we do quite high for the place where we are, with the limitation that we have of the budget and the materials. But we like. Then 2023, it was when we decided to have a topic. For 2027, the topic will be kind of reborn. But for us, it was kind of important because it was a kind of challenge in terms of creating and consistency somehow. Then 2024, we decided to create what Lois mentioned also, that is his wife, that is to include a guest coordinator. Because before, all the team volunteers, we do all the best that our visitors, they feel at home. They have a problem with teeth, or a taxi driver go to steal them from the airport, they have some support. And then we decide to include the person, like a guest coordinator, who is taking care of all the visitors. We have a WhatsApp group, they have the contact with the person is sending material about Belgrade to know how is this, how is that, how it works, the public transport, the currency, where you do change. We have to remember that Serbia, unfortunately, is not in the European Union. And then there are different things. And then the last step that we did, it was this year, in the 2025, to publish our values statement. We thought that was important for us, and now I am again lost somewhere. Here. It was important for us to check, to make our values statement in case that, I don't know, we have to have our principles somehow. We're talking about equality, there is a mistake there, and inclusion. We're talking about gender parity. This is something that when we're in Barcelona, it came out because it's something that is there always. The only place where we push this parity really is in the jury for the new talents, because we always have 5 members, international 5 members, and we always have 2 women, 3 men, 3 women, 2 men. It depends. In the team, we are 2 guys and 8 women. The exhibitions, more than 50% or 60%, more than 60% last year, they were by women photographers. It came like that. We are not pushing it, it came like that. And I'm glad. But means we'll try to keep it, but until now, it came in a natural way, except the jury that they always try to push it. We talk about the international collaboration, and now that we are members of IPFA will be still easier, but since the first edition, we are collaborating with festivals from all Europe. Out of Europe is very hard for us, it's difficult, but this is helping a lot. Well, you can read here the text. We foster partnership with festivals and institutions. Photo Month is a space where borders dissolve and photographic voices from different countries and contexts meet, including diverse communities, supporting local initiatives, ensuring that contemporary photography is accessible throughout the country. We have, of course, community engagement. We have, of course, the local audience. In our case, a big part of the audience of the festival are photographers, people interested in photography, people interested in art. Of course, when we had exhibitions outside, we have more, let's say, random visitors. But a big part of our audience are photographers or from the culture world. But it's true that we also keep having, also depending the venue, we keep having let's say local audience, no professional in art, let's say. But we want, and this is one of the points that we put here, that at least 30% of our exhibitions are activities feature artists living and working in Serbia or connected to the region. This for us, that could sound normal for anyone, but for us is not easy because we don't get any support from the country in the last 2 years or 3. Then the support that we have are embassies, international centers, foundations from out of Serbia, and then normally embassies and cultural centers, they are supporting their artists. Then our commitment is to give this 30%, however we can, for the locals. And like we write here, 100% of the exhibitions that we are producing by our local companies. We are giving, we are not giving hundreds of thousands, but we're giving a lot of work to many printing, framing companies in Belgrade, mainly. We keep, since the beginning, the support for the emerging photographers and for the very emergent, for the young photographers. This is something that we write here since our first edition, and we will keep it because this is one of our strong values. Then, yes, one of the things I mentioned before is that we make this open call for young photographers up to 25 years old. Like it happened before, sometimes we use other photographers. Now we are also using the photos of our new talents applicants for promoting the event. It means to give visibility to them, like in that case, this photo. we had every year, when it's not Belgrade Photo Book Week, we have the contest, we have the winners. We can see that we have from all around the world. We got the time that we got more, it was like 120 proposals. When we invite the photographers, we invite them to present projects from 7 to 15 photos. And this is what at the end we show. Until 2019, we had 3 winners, intentional 3 winners. In the asterisk here in the presentation, I put who was in Belgrade for the opening of the festival. Because of the budget, we cannot support everybody, but we are doing the best. You can see that in 2025, the 4 winners that were in Belgrade. And then on 2020, we decided to include the form of the best local photographer also, the best Serbians. We talk about local engagement. We decided to create the figure of the best local, the best Serbian photographer. In that case, 𝗪𝗲 𝗪𝗲 won once, twice. She cannot win anymore because now she's over 25. But yes, and this is what we open always the festival. In that case, when we open in this big venue, we have ceremony awards, and afterwards we open the rest of the exhibition that they are in the same place. Here it was this year. The photos I'm going to show now, well, not now but later, they are from the ceremony awards. They are from this last edition. Here we have the winner from the last year with a representative from the Dutch embassy who support the travel of the photographer to Belgrade. Here we have the team that is from 2 years ago, the team of the festival, and many of the photographers that they were part and they were here. Like we have in the downline, the 3, there is Zuzana Pustajova with the glasses, the other 3 are 3 of the new talents that were in Belgrade for the opening ceremony also. And then now we'll go with what we do with the festivals. I mentioned that for us is essential to have the collaboration with international festivals. This is the easy way to create connections, to create bonds, to bring new projects to Belgrade, but also for us to export the Serbian photographers. This is a project who came from Switzerland. We exhibit here in Belgrade, but like you can see from the 2016, we had the first collaboration with Photonic Moments Festival. Istanbul Photo Book self-published, Panoramic from Barcelona, we collaborated 3 times. 𝗓𝗪 𝗪𝗲, here we're talking about the exhibitions that we host. Then later we'll see when we were. We had 4 projects from 𝗓𝗪 𝗪𝗲, that is one of our partners. We'll be again in 2026 with them. Of Bratislava, VLVN is the photo you saw before by Clement Lamblet. Budapest, with Budapest Photo Festival and Photo VN, we did a project and Belgrade Photo Month for the 3 countries. We had 6 photographers traveling all around. This is also something that we like to do. A project with the 6 photographers that has been in the 3 cities, and the panel exhibition, it has been exhibiting in the 3 countries. Recently, we did something similar through the Dutch embassy in the 6 Western Balkan countries, where 5 photographers from each country, they were doing a project, a workshop with a Dutch photographer. Then we make the exhibition in the 6 countries, and now the winners, they will go to the World Press Photo opening on May. We collaborate with Sarajevo Photography Festival for the first time last year, bringing Katarina Markovic in the photo. She's Katarina Markovic. We saw her project in Sarajevo. We brought it to Belgrade, and then we export her to Verona. I will say, like a secret, it's the first time that we apply to ARL for the emerging photographer, and we just apply before the deadline with her work. Cross fingers to be in ARL next year. Then the same, collaborating with festival reciprocity. Where we has been, our photographers has been in DemoFest in Bosnia. Is a festival that I think that doesn't exist anymore. It was a project that we exhibited in 2017 about feminicide, both projects. Krakow Fashion Week, yes, we were invited to collaborate with them. We are invited every year, and every year we are sending 2 photographers who are shooting fashion or fashion style. And every year we have 2, normally Serbian, sometimes the second could be an artist a photographer who has been in our festival, like 𝗜𝗣𝗙 𝗪𝗲𝗂𝗓 last year. And why not? We are there to promote the photography. We have been in Panoramic Festival also. We have been many times in 𝗜𝗑𝗪𝗔 𝗪𝗲𝗂𝗓, last 2 times in 𝗜𝗑𝗪𝗔, not with exhibition, but in 𝗜𝗑𝗪𝗔. We have been in Helsinki Photo Festival, in Grenze. I put 2026 because we are officially going on 2026 again, with a photographer from Barcelona, an artist from Barcelona in the case, but we had Sonja Zuzic, Mita Simikic, Katerina Markovic. We are trying, this is what we think that we have to do important. And then also we try to make exhibitions out of Belgrade, but not with festivals, but when we have the opportunity, we do, because at the end, we have a material, or in my friend's and mother home, all the work framing there, waiting for something, for what? And then we always try to give a second life to these projects. We try first to move them around Serbia, but of course, if we have the opportunity to do it somewhere else, we also do. Normally, when the exhibitions go out of Serbia, because we are not part of the European Union, then we let them go. But in the meantime, we keep it for a while, trying to move them. This is the deal that we have in general with the artists. This is an exhibition of the journalist Olatz Vázquez from the Basque Country that we exhibit through the Spanish embassy in Podgorica. I was the curator of this project. We had been in Maribor in Slovenia with a Finnish photographer, Podgorica, in Zurich, in Leskovac, in Serbia, with a French-Iranian photographer, Mladenovac, Petrovac, Mokin, that are part of the Serbia. And this is also something that it gives sense to the festival. I always say I do my best to move our exhibitions, but I don't lose my soul, because that could be exhausting and not always successful. And then I do my best, but the best that I can. Then I mentioned for us is essential. Here you have a list of different culture centers with who we collaborate. I think that almost all that are in Belgrade. There is one that I miss here, but we also collaborate. That is the Greek one, largely that is missing. Also, it's Ramon Llull from Catalonia that they are not in Belgrade, but we collaborate. And this is basic for us. Sometimes we use the space. Sometimes they support the artist or the project that we are proposing. Normally, what we normally do now is for the photographers, or for the festivals too. What we normally do is we deal with a culture center if they're interested to be part of the festival. If they say yes, then we discuss if they have somebody. Normally, from our side, we propose a couple of names, the projects that are according to the topic, and then we let them to choose what they want to see, what they prefer. We work with embassies. This is the project of Nathan Vir with the support by Israel Embassy. Without their supports, Belgrade Photo Month, it will not doesn't exist today. It's impossible, unfortunately. And then for us is a way to work. We don't have huge companies for being sponsor us. I built this summer a big program to try to get more private sponsors like we had in the beginning one, because I think that will be important. But for the moment, we are depending a lot on the embassies. Publishers that we brought to Belgrade in the editions of the photo book edition. And now, well, we are ready for the Belgrade Photo Month, for the Belgrade Photo Book Week. Will be 2026 April. 23rd April is International Day of the Book. We're not super happy to having on that time, but because it's limiting us for something, but we decided to keep that week, that it has all the sense. And well, here there are some informations that context that in case that you are a photographer, you can follow the festival. What you see here, like Barcelona pop-up, Barcelona concept or Barcelona pop-up, it was my personal photography platform that was born before Belgrade Photo Month, and I am still active doing things. You have my email address, personal, and the festival. You can print a screen. And then now what I would like to do is, I would like to show a bit how it looks our festival. Meantime, we talk, and now Pablo, probably I will share some things, but anyway, if you have some questions, Pablo, I don't know if I forget things, probably I did, but we can make questions meantime. I am showing the photos. Photos I'm going to show now in the beginning are photos from the different exhibitions that we had this year, this 25th edition. This is, for example, the work, we have a photographer in the photo, but we have the work by ฎ 𝗪𝗲𝗪, who is the winner of the New Talents, the Serbian. Wait a second. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, because I'm touching now. I am losing myself somewhere. Yeah.
Technology.
Come on.
That is the technology. Always happens when you are live. Everything's working, and then
because the point is that it's not changing the photo, right?
No, it's not changing.
Yeah, because I try to go to the screen. Okay. I try to go to the screen where is the photo, but it doesn't let me go. Okay, go to
That's
close.
weird. Okay, if you have any questions, you can
Yes,
put them
meantime,
on the
yes.
chat now. We have 10 more minutes. 9 more minutes. There was, David, a question about from Chantal. What do you mean by connected to the region, the subject of the exhibition or the origin of the photographer?
Both things. It could mean I cannot change the photo. It could mean that that the photographer is from the region, or there is a project about the region. Somebody from abroad who make a project. We had Joan Alvado, who was doing a project about the witches from the east of Serbia. He make a residence with us in Belgrade, and then we can count that because it's part of our territory, let's say.
Great.
There are more questions?
No, I mean, not yet. But I'm really happy with you, David, on the way that you work with institutions, how powerful really can be to generate this network of collaborations, and how the institutions can help you, not on the case, for example, of Luis with newspapers and companies, but in this case, with public institutions, embassies, and all that. I think it's a really powerful way of funding also support and places to do exhibitions. That sometimes is pretty hard when you are in a big city to find these places, but obviously if you are connected with the embassy, sometimes it's easier to bring the artists and also to have open spaces. This
is something now I will talk to the photographers. When I do portfolio reviews, when somebody shows me a project, for me is I'm sorry to say that, but depending where you are from, for me, will be very hard, because when we make an exhibition, we like to bring the artist. We like to invite the artist to be part, to meet with the people, to talk to us about his work, you know. Sometimes we cannot because it's impossible. Okay, no problem. But in general, we like. And then if a photographer, depending from where he's coming to me, it will be very hard or almost impossible to bring him. Sometimes happens. But depending from, and then also, like I am like a curator, I am trying to move the project of a photographer that they created, like 𝗜𝗪𝗙𝗪𝗏, that now we go to Verona. When in IPFA I was saying, you know, I know that for this person we can get support from here, from here, from here. It doesn't mean that we'll get it, but we have the options. For me, like an organizer of a festival, it's very important to know that. And then I will say, when the photographer is approached to a curator or to a festival, if you have these opportunities, say, because for me, it could change. Obviously, if I don't like the project, I will not show it. But somehow that's for the festival in our region. Probably other regions are different, but in our region, money matters a lot. And well, we had at the same time in our region we had good luck for another side. That is that not many people has been in Serbia or in the Balkans, and many people is very happy to come. And then sometimes we manage to that the people coming because also they really want. I also organized the Catalan Film Festival, and when I talked to the director if you want to come for the opening of the festival, in general nobody has been here. They are all super happy to come. This is an advantage that we have. And then when they come, because Balkans means Serbia is Serbia, means Serbia is a Mediterranean country also when it has no sea now, but Yugoslavia had. The people is super warm. The community that we create is amazing. Everybody is in love afterwards. We have some testimonies by the photographers in the website. You can read it. The people enjoy very much. And then this is also, let's say, a good side of the bad side, let's say, you know. But yes, it's important. Embassies, culture centers, everything. And for me, I suppose that Lois is the same. When you invite an artist from abroad, you feel the obligation to cover the expenses as much as you can. Or in case, when somebody wants to come to me, I will never promise something that I'm not sure that I can give. But if I invite somebody, I need that basic things, I have to cover it. And then that many times is because when you talk about to invite somebody, you have flights, you have accommodation, you have this, you have that. Yes, it's important. It's very important. But I am in the capital. I don't know how could be that if I was not in the capital. I was in Barcelona, that you have government but not embassies.
Yes, for embassies it's hard. Luis, sorry, you're
Luis,
mute.
the micro. Yes, put the micro.
So you make a good point, because when we asked, when Pablo asked in the beginning, what is the advantage, big place, small place, we are just in the vicinity of Vienna, but embassies would not support us. I think that when you're in Belgrade, you have access to them or to these cultural institutions. In our case, they say, oh, this is a different province of Austria, so this is not our, they let you drop like a hot potato, because everybody, they have limited budgets, so whenever they can know with a good reason, they do it.
Yes.
That's a simple fact. So you have the advantage of being in a capital city. Well, I have the advantage on the other end, being in the province, even if it's just very near to the capital.
Yes.
This is how it works.
Pablo, is it what happens to us when you have a country that doesn't have an embassy in Serbia? For example, when we talk about Mexico, the Chile has not embassy in Serbia. Then you have to go to the embassy in Athens. For Athens, Athens is Athens, but we are like a collateral damage. I have to say that there are some embassies, like the Dutch is doing, the Spanish did, I don't know now, that they also, for example, the Spanish embassy is for Serbia and for Montenegro. We make an exhibition to them in Montenegro because they also want to do some things abroad, but it's a residual part of the program.
Sure. Okay.
And not to forget, it becomes quickly very political. If it is content-wise, or if it is for political interest from all of these players. Photography is political in every which way, and therefore they also respond and consider: are you kind of behaving enough to be one we can support?
Sure.
Yes.
Chantal is saying, sorry, David. Chantal is saying that she's working in an embassy and she's looking for projects outside of the capitals. Don't give up with embassies out of the capitals. In the case of Swiss embassies, obviously, David is already sending you his email for making contacts. For sure, you can help David to bring more artists. I think it's a great format. I mean, today it was a great presentation because we have two different formats of doing festivals and finding people, making connections, relationship. The way these two festivals work with other festivals is also a great way of seeing IPFA. I mean, we are working from this perspective, connecting with other festivals, bringing artists, moving what we are doing and knowing from other festivals. We know, David, that you have been making portfolio review for many years, and we also believe that is a great opportunity. We need to connect also with the photographers and know exactly what they do. I'm really happy having you two today, and also to all our participants. We were 25, 30 in some moment, and I think the presentation was really, really good. I have just to say goodbye to everyone. I would love to stay here for hours talking, but I have already my list, these two festivals to go, and I hope the rest of you are going to come. And for sure, I want to meet you in Barcelona. In the IPFA meeting, we have plenty of time to talk about things and also to exchange exhibition and to share more details. I want to invite you two and everyone to be here in Barcelona. And just to say, thanks for participating. Thanks for opening your festival to the community. This is the most important. We need to open, we need to explain, we need to be here to learn, and we need here to be sharing opportunities also for photographers. Thank you so much, Luis, David, and also Laura for being part of the team, and hope to see you in February that we have newer presentations of festivals. Have a great day, everyone, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
And Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.